Okay, so let's talk today's Oscar nominations.
Mhm.
What stands out to you the most from today's nominations?
What stands out to me most, well, it was a surprise to see Amelia Perez get so many nominations, 13 nominations, and really run away with the field. Personally, I think it's an okay movie. I'm surprised to see it get so much, but it certainly is the kind of thing that pushes the buttons for Academy voters. And it is certainly historical that we have the first openly trans actor ever nominated, actress, actor, either nominated. In an acting category with Carla Sofia Gascon, who gives a tremendous, almost operatic performance. So that's really interesting to see. Uh, but other than that, it was a pretty straightforward field. There were no major snubs. I mean, I could list a couple of things that I thought were missing. I think there's a British movie called Hard Truths by Mike Leigh that has a performance by Marianne Jean-Baptiste that's the best thing that I saw last year in terms of actress performances. Nickel Boys, which is this absolutely wonderful film by a new director named Ramel Ross, did get nominated for Best Picture and did get nominated for Adapted Screenplay, but it has the kind of cinematography that's like a whole new thing. And I was hoping that that would get that the cinematographer Joe Mofre would get nominated, and he was not.
Were there any other snubs that kind of stood out to you, or
Um, uh, there were
Nicole? Some people were saying about Nicole Kidman. She
yeah,
hit
I
hit
mean,
hard.
it's funny if you pay attention to the tea leaves in the week ahead of time, there was the fields had sort of solidified, and Nicole Kidman was being wasn't really in conversation, nor was Angelina Jolie, nor was Kate this movie called Lee. In part because that movie wasn't very well seen, whereas the other two movies weren't, weren't so popular, so well liked critically that they had the momentum to sort of carry the actresses into the category. And honestly, if you look at that category, that's a pretty strong category. You've got Demi Moore in a very satisfying comeback story, in The Substance. Mikey Madison for Anora, which has been in the conversation for Best Actress from the moment that movie came out. So you've got the old guard and the new kid, and then Carlos Sofia Gascon for Amelia Perez, and Cynthia Erivo for Wake's Office hit there, and tremendous performance. And Fernanda Torres there's the dark horse there for this really, really very good Brazilian film called I'm Still Here, where she plays a wife and mother holding her family together in the 70s when her husband is disappeared by the government. Um, so yeah, it's a really strong field.
Do you feel like this was more like an indie year, or like a popular film year for Best
Uh,
Picture?
it's a good question. I actually think the wealth was pretty widely spread around. So I mean, if you look at the Best Picture category, which has 10, you do have Dune 2, so you've got a big blockbuster, and Wicked. But you also have, an ambitious drama, three and a half hour drama like The Brutalist. You have something like Anora, which is a pretty scruffy independent film. You have Amelia Perez, which is out of left field. I've always been joking and saying it's just your basic Mexican cartel transgender musical. We get one of those every year.
Sure.
And then you get Conclave, which is like a total crowd pleaser that you really enjoy. Um, so and then Complete Unknown, which I think kind of came out of left field. That's when I think the timing was really just right for the nominations. Not many people expected it to be good, and lo and behold, the movie, and Timothy Chalamet is quite excellent in it, and so is Edward Norton, and so is Monica Barbaro, and they all got nominated, as did the director James Mangold. So that was a bit of a surprise. So I think we're just covering a lot of different bases here.
And who do you see winning Best Actress and Best Actor?
Um, Best Actress is a really tight field, honestly. It could go to Demi Moore for sort of a sentimental. I mean, if you saw her, she won the Golden Globe and gave a very touching speech And this is a movie about aging. What happens to Hollywood stars, Hollywood women stars when they age, and that's obviously going to hit close to home. So that she's got a good shot at it. So does Carla Sofia Gaston for this just operatic performance and the chance to maybe make a bit of history. I think those are the two leaders. But then Fernando Torres and the Golden Globe. So who knows? And an actor where we have Ralph Fiennes for Conclave, Adrian Brody for The Brutalist, Timothy Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, Coleman DeMille for a little film called Sing Sing, which I urge everybody to go see. It's wonderful. And Sebastian Stan playing the young Donald Trump in The Apprentice. I think again, that's a very strong field. Brody has already won once for playing a Holocaust survivor. Chalamet may be too young. I do wonder if this might be Ralph Fiennes' year because he's never won an Oscar. I think he's only been nominated once or twice. He's a really admired, even loved actor, and he's quite wonderful in a very low-key role in Conclave. My sense, and maybe it's just my hope, is that it might be his year.
Um, so do you have like a top five movies that people should see before the Oscars? And do you have any idea where they can see them?
I would really urge people to see Nickel Boys. I think it's a tremendous movie about a dark chapter in our history, in American history, but that is told in a way that doesn't make it medicine for the audience, that makes it very compassionate, and it's unusually filmed and beautifully filmed with really wonderful performances. That is a very, very special film. Movies like Wicked and Dune 2, I don't need to, people have seen those already. If you have a strong stomach, I would definitely say see The Substance, which is a satiric horror movie that goes completely bonkers in the last 15, 20 minutes. I'm still kind of shocked that movie has been nominated for as many awards as it has, because it's a crazy little genre movie. And I think I would also urge people to see Anora, because Mikey Madison's tremendous in it. Sean Baker's a great writer director. It is a movie that is entertaining. It kind of looks on the surface, if you don't know anything about it, it looks like, oh, this is like Pretty Woman all over again. No, it's not. It's a lot more real than that, and in ways that kind of cross an audience's wires and make for really good discussions afterward. And that's also one of the best ending scenes of the year. And then I would say, if you have the time, to watch a 3.5 hour movie with an intermission, The Brutalist is really quite wonderful. And if you think you don't have enough time to watch a 3.5 hour movie, then why are you binging, hour-long TV show series, 3 or 4 at a bunch? It's the same thing. And that's a movie that really deserves to be seen in a theater.
Cool. All right. Well, Ty Burr, thank you so much for your time.
Sure. Thank you. Glad to be here.